you bring great momentum into this game, obviously, after the win at the weekend. Squad-wise, are you, barring the long-term injuries we know about, more or less full strength for this? And are you minded, given who the opponents are, not to rotate so much? Are you looking to field a full-strength team?
No more news on the team, especially no more injuries. Obviously, the 2 recruitments that we already made in this window. And big match, big test for us against, in my opinion, the best football team in the world. And looking forward to it because it's going to tell us a lot about where we are.
In terms of your thinking, you talk about the new signings. Leandro Trossard came in and had a real impact. Is he coming into your thoughts in a strong way for this match? And what would you say? You talked about his flexibility, but how quickly he formed relationships on the pitch against United.
That's what I like about him. That I see a player that is willing to make things happen, and he's really composed, especially in the final thirds, and it's something that we needed to add to the team, and straight away had a beautiful impact in the team to help us to win it.
If he has flexibility, Jakob Kivior, who you've also brought in, can play in a couple of positions to maybe supplement the midfield. Just in terms of your squad now with the transfer window drawing to a close, does he give you enough cover? Might there be more acquisitions before the end of the window?
Well, he gives us more cover. Obviously, we've been with 3 central defenders for the first part of the season, which is very, very short. We've been lucky with injuries, but we needed to recruit in that position. We've done it. Jakob, as you said, is playing different roles and is a versatile player and is going to strengthen the team. And if anything else is available that can make us better, we'll look at it.
We've had to wait, obviously, for yourselves and City to meet this season. Obviously, you and Pep go back a long way, have a long association. You keep in touch, I know. Has anything changed in the dynamic over the course of this season as you know, your team and his look that they're locked together to fight for the championship?
Well, I always hoped that was going to be the case one day, and it's happening this season. Obviously, that's not going to change any friendship, the moments that we have, how important he is in my life, how important he is in my profession. But yeah, we are both willing to win and defend our clubs the best possible way, and that's always been the case since day one.
Yeah. I was just thinking, coming here, asking myself the question, are the 2 best players or most influential players right now in the Premier League Norwegian? And I'm wondering if your Norwegian's giving your defenders any tips on how to cope with their Norwegian.
No, I think there are 2 players that they are in top form at the moment, but I think they have and we have as well other players that they are in a great place and they are very, very important for the squads.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie and Nketiah, talking about him, you know, people tipping him for England now. Can he sustain the level he's at, do you sense?
Well, that's the challenge that we all have, and not only Eddie, to be not only at that level but a better level every single day. And Eddie's been very consistent. I think it has surprised a few people the way he has responded to the huge challenge and demands that he had, obviously, after Gavi got injured. But we are positive that he can still get much better, evolve, and still continue to develop.
Just one last one for me, Michaela. You're animated on the touchline. Pep is also an animated manager on the touchline. There are others. Do you think there's been a bit of an undue focus on yourself? I mean, you got the booking in the United game. Are we all making too much of that? We would like to see the passion. Has there been too much of a focus on you personally, do you think?
I don't know. I focus in things that I can do better. For sure, there are things that I can do better. Let the referees take the game and be in charge of that. Look myself in the mirror as well sometimes and try to find the right balance there sometimes. But I love the game. I'm very passionate about it. I love to win more than anything else. And that's the way I live the match. But again, if there is something that you can do better, I think you should try at least do that.
That's great. Go to Bradley from TalkSport.
Hi Mikel, hope you're well. Whoever wins this game on Friday, what sort of psychological advantage does that give them in the title race, do you think, going into the rest of the season?
I think they're going to be 2 very, very different games. And to put similarities into them, I think it's just very unreal. Maybe for the players that are going to be on that pitch, but as well because of the context is extremely different. But let's see. Obviously, it's important always to play well and to win. That gives you more momentum, more confidence, and prepares you better for the next match. And that's our focus to do that on Friday.
And there seems to be a real change in mentality in this Arsenal squad, especially this year. And I think perhaps that game at the weekend in previous seasons, an Arsenal side might not have won that game. So what have you done behind the scenes to change the mentality and make this squad really united and have that real winning mentality and strong desire to win every game this season?
I think the key word probably would be belief. Not only our belief, but the staff belief, players belief, the atmosphere that we created with our people at the stadium. You could sense it even 1-0 down that we could still go and win it. And managing emotionally the game in a much better way than we used to, and then playing better. And we are playing better than before, and we are earning the right to win the games. And then football, as we all know, is very unpredictable.
You mentioned the atmosphere in the stadium there. We heard the roar at full time, like the weekend, when that full time whistle blew. Does it feel like this is the most united the whole club has ever been during your time here as a player and manager, in terms of staff, the fans, the players, the whole sort of people here at Arsenal?
I wouldn't like to compare how it was before in the past, but I say I'm extremely proud and privileged to be in this moment at the football club, and I think we all feeling that energy and that empowerment between everybody that is contributing to get the club where it belongs.
And what sort of impact has Alexander Zinchenko made in the squad? I mean, another great performance from him at the weekend.
Well, we know that he's a player that gives us everything that we want in that position, that he gives us the versatility and he gets a lot of attention as well and free us other spaces. That for us is really important. But I will especially highlight his mentality, and what he brought is a real desire to win, to make something special with this team, and the experiences that he had in the past. I think they are very helpful to do that.
Thanks. Best luck Friday.
Thank you.
To Alex from the BBC.
Hi, Michael. You
Hi.
said this game against Man City will be different to the one you play in the Premier League, but is it fair to say these 3 games against Man City could define your season?
Well, I don't know. Well, it would define him, obviously, because if we are able to win on Friday, we'll go to the next round, and they won't. And if they beat us, that will be the opposite way around. So, obviously, it's a competition that it's really important for us, that is very attached to our club and our history, and I will define a moment, that's for sure.
You said that you always dreamt of competing with City, one of the best teams in the world. Are you further ahead than you thought you would be in competing with them earlier than you planned?
I don't know, but obviously this league brings you incredible challenges. You have the best coaches in the world, the best coach in the world, and to be at that level, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to find other ways of doing things to try to compete with them, and that's where opportunities come as well. And we are in that pathway, understanding that we haven't done anything yet, and there is still a lot of things to improve.
And we'll go to Kaya from Football London.
Mikel, will Mohamed El Neni be available for the game on Friday?
I don't think he will be. Obviously, he had some issue in his knee that we are assessing at the moment, and I will have to see how he evolves in the next couple of days.
Is there a concern, because there have been some whispers that he could be out for the rest of the season? Is there any truth in that?
Well, there are concerns, especially Mo, that is a player that he never complains about anything, but let's see.
Now you brought in Jakob Kivior as well. You've got potential cover in midfield. Do you feel like you've got enough in midfield, or do you think you'll need to bring someone else in?
Well, we need some more cover in midfield, ideally, if we can, but obviously in this market is pretty complicated to do that. But as I always say, the most important thing is that we get the performances and the time on the pitch that we need with the players that we have available today that are already really good.
Mark from PA.
Hi, Mikel. You mentioned your relationship with Pep. Does it make it even more special for you on a personal level that you're putting your wits at the top of the table against someone you've worked with and you're so close with?
I would prefer to do with someone else, to be fair, because I want the best for him, generally the best for him, and obviously when you are challenging with somebody like this, something comes in between of that. So it's a strange feeling, is what it is, and that's our challenge.
When you went to Manchester City in the summer and you got Gabby and you got Zinchenko. How did Pep react to that, to those deals going through? And then
That was done, I think, in a really nice way between the clubs, especially obviously between us as well personally, because you have to do that respectfully, and it was all agreed by everybody, as you have read and hear many times. So it was a three parties decision. If not, they wouldn't be here, that's for sure.
And just finally, the situation at the moment at one of your former clubs, Everton, off the field and on the pitch, does that make you sad for someone who's got such an affiliation with the club?
It does, because it's a club that I love so much, that I'm very grateful and very attached to, and I just hope that they can get where they deserve to be, and they can get things moving and fast and get everybody on board again, and hopefully get out of this situation.
Okay, last couple in the live section. Firstly, Charles from Goal.com.
Hi, Mikel. Gabriel Jesus was speaking at the weekend, and he seemed to suggest that he was going to be back playing in sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Is that the time frame that we're beginning to look at now with him?
With him, I don't know. He wants to be next week, but it's totally unrealistic. But he's pushing and driving everybody there to the limits. I cannot give you an answer. Hopefully, it will be weeks and not months. But it was a serious injury, and we need to respect that process as well.
He was on the touchline at full time at the weekend, and when Eddie came off, he was there waiting for Eddie. Of course, he's sort of filling the void left by Jesus. I mean, is he still playing a massive impact sort of behind the scenes in here?
He's been incredible with the boys, with the staff, with everybody around it. His energy, how positive he is towards the boys, and he's always giving them advice, always next to them. He doesn't want to be in the front line. He's been terrific. Yeah.
And we'll go to Gamal from Kuwait TV.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
This is one of the most important games. Even in prediction, expect Arsenal will win. Even Guardiola himself said Arsenal is more favorite. And my second question, it's 19 games. You have 50 points and 1 game in hand. All the 3 teams did it and win the Premier League. How this will inspire you and your player to continue and win this title?
No, what we are doing is it gives enthusiasm and hope. To dream, but we know the reality is that it's half of the season still to play for, and this in the Premier League, it's a hell of a lot of a story. So it's still a lot of chapters still to be written, and we need to go very closely looking day by day what we do.